everybody's doing great, having a great day, or that your day is starting off well. My name is Tan. Artemis Oracle is my channel, and I'm doing a quick morning energy read. I just want to see what comes out. I'm gonna turn off the chat because I don't. I'm not going to be answering any questions. So you can leave any messages in the comment section if you'd like. So I typically do lives between 2 p.m. Eastern time and 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I stream twice a day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, sometimes on a Wednesday, and very rarely on the weekend. So I hope everybody is just doing well. Let's see what comes out for the collective. What comes out for the collective? I'm gonna go into the Dead Inside deck. This deck is supposed to be funny, so we could all use a good laugh, even in the morning, wherever you are. I'm at the East Coast, so it's 8:35 right now. Let's see, what does the collective need to know at this time for the highest and greatest good? Spirit angels, guides, appreciate you. Thank you for the like. I hope you're having a good day so far. Let's see, what does the Dead Inside deck? It's the dark, real, and hilarious oracle deck. Let's see. Can I get a message, please? Can I get a message? Oh, I got one. Mercury did it. Miscommunication, cosmic excuse, retrograde blame. So I'm going to say this. Be careful with your communication today or whenever you happen to come across this reading. Mercury did it. Mercury tends to have, Mercury rules communication technology, information, all that stuff. So be very careful with the type of information that you're spreading, how you're communicating with people. I believe we're out of I think we might still be in the shadow period of the retrograde, but Mercury did go direct. So I don't know if some of you may be still experiencing issues with technology, even though Mercury has been long in direct for a few weeks already. But just be careful what you're doing. Don't blame anything or any planets for any miscommunication or anything you've done wrong, or you got to take accountability. And sometimes you also got to hold people accountable if they've said or did something that they don't really want to hold themselves accountable to, because this is all about accountability when it comes to this. I know people tend to say, oh, I'm a Scorpio, I do that, and I say that in jest. I'm just joking when I say that, because we do that. Sometimes we excuse certain things because of our sign or because of any planetary transits that may be currently happening. I mean, it does play a part, but in reality, we are responsible for our own actions and behaviors. Okay, so let me see what else I can get. So I would say that's something to be careful of today, or whenever today is whenever you're watching it, not when it posts. Let's see. I have my Life Happens Oracle deck. Let's see. What other messages does the collective need to know at this time? Okay, some of you may be questioning something. You may be wondering why something happened, why there isn't any movement, why. There's a why question going on. That's for you to know and you to find out. But since the Mercury card did come out and it's about communication, if there's something that you're not entirely clear about, then it's a suggestion that you get some information, do some research, even ask. Ask a friend, ask someone that you can confide in, or just someone who knows more than you do if you're inquiring about something that you're confused about, because that indicates confusion if you're not sure about something, but it could be anything. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go into tarot now. I want to get 3 cards. Collective. What does the collective need to know regarding any of the messages that are going to come out, or any other messages that they need to hear? What messages does the collective need to hear? This one's right. Okay, so we have the Star, but they come out in reverse. So some of you, there may be something that you're wishing for, something that you're hoping for. In the bottom of the deck, we see the Three of Swords. Some of you may be healing from some sort of heartbreak. You may be still confused about what happened, maybe needing clarity, and that might be why the Y card came out. But then sometimes there are situations where you aren't always going to get the clarity that you want or that you need that will make things okay. But for some of you, you may be getting that communication. But healing ultimately is a choice. And if you're choosing to heal, then you could create your own closure. You don't need somebody to create that closure for you. But it doesn't have to only be a relationship. It could just be you had some sort of setback. Maybe something was said to you that something was said or done. I feel like it's more communication than anything. I don't know. I see technology, Mercury, I talked about technology and why. I don't know if you're questioning why somebody did something. And that may have been very painful to you, may have been very disappointing, but this card is like the strongest Three of Swords card that I think I own in all my tarot collections. And this one, it's indicating like deep pain. So I don't know if some of you are still healing or in the process of healing, or you need to heal from whatever heartbreaking situation you may have experienced. I saw the Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Give me one more, Spirit. The Three of Swords is like, was at the bottom. Tell me more. Okay, if you're new here, my name is Tan. Artemis Oracle is my channel. I'm an Oracle and Tarot card reader. Okay. I see the Devil card. That's Capricorn energy. The star is Aquarius. Mercury is Gemini, just so you know, and Virgo. So those may be signs. Those signs may resonate with you. But the Devil is indicating, Capricorn energy. I don't know if some of you had some sort of an unhealthy attachment to somebody, like an emotional attachment. It could be that, because you see the heart has all these strings, like it's being torn apart, right? But then you also see the Devil energy, and you see he has this string. I don't know if some of you are realizing and maybe questioning why you've experienced sort of manipulation in a relationship, or you may be questioning whether someone has been manipulative towards you. I know it's a little too early for this, but I mean, it doesn't have to be a love relation, had to do with love. It could be about work too. I don't know if you've experienced some sort of setback at work. Maybe someone was manipulative and may have affected some future plans that you were making for yourself. And like I said, it could be about work. It could also be about relationships. And relationships can be romantic or friendship or familial. Those two cards flew out. Emperor, that's Aries energy with the Five of Swords. So I was talking about a boss. I was talking about work. And I don't know if some of you, your boss possibly made some sort of decision or received some misinformation. You will know if it's true or not, the information that your boss may have received. But your boss may have made a decision that caused you to be very disappointed, because there may have been some sort of manipulation going on, or just someone having not the greatest intentions, or someone just wanted control in the situation. And Capricorn is a very hardworking sign. I'm going to say, I don't want to give Capricorns a negative reputation. They just happen to get this card because of the goat. And goats were, associated with the occult with certain practices, and shadow practices, they would say. But the Devil, the Capricorn energy is someone who is hardworking, very career-oriented, very just all about their finances, all about their stability, all about their future. Legacy when it comes to finances, money, homes, that type of thing, all about security and stability. but it's like to the max. But I feel like this maybe have to do with work. Definitely about work. I don't know if some of you may have gotten into a job that you thought was like a wish come true, but it was like the terms, the offers tied to that position. There were strings attached to whatever this has to do. I think this is about work. I don't think this is so much about romance. I mean, it could be about romance, but I feel like it's more work because the star, the devil, and then I mentioned work, and then I saw the emperor. The emperor's a boss energy, and I don't know if your boss or someone like your supervisor, however you call it, may have made some sort of decision, may have even heard some information. And earlier I was talking about miscommunication, being careful about communication. I would say too, today will be a day. If you're watching this right now, be careful with your communication when you're at work, because you don't want your boss to be hearing anything that you've been doing or that may affect your position. Okay, so if some of you have certain habits that you feel like may interfere with your job, I would say get a handle on that. Like, try to hone in on that. And especially if they're bad habits, like addictive habits. I mean, like sometimes we have these stupid little things that we do at work that we don't think is anything, but then ultimately it makes us look bad. Yeah, I would say beware of that today. Be careful, because you don't want to be in a position where you're going to have to start looking elsewhere for employment because of some sort of news information that your boss receives. Some of you, this may have happened already. I think, like, it's funny. I said all of this, the Six of Wands. I think that if this message resonates with you, and you take the advice that I'm giving based on what the cards are showing me, then you will have nothing to worry about. If there was some competition when it comes to work, and somebody may have tried to sabotage you in some way. I mean, it may have been very disappointing what you may have heard too, because you could be the emperor energy, and then you've heard some information, or somebody may be talking negatively about you, spreading misinformation, gossip about you, because you see that bird is right in his ear. So that could be something, and it may be coming from someone that you wouldn't expect, and that may be why you're asking why would the person do this. If it has to do with work, it's because you're competition. That's why. But ultimately you're going to be victorious, because if you've been on the up and up and you've been doing everything that you need to do, you've been keeping up with your responsibilities, meeting deadlines, not even like finishing your work before the deadlines, all that type of things, like you've been doing everything, you've been focused, dedicated to your work, then you should be okay. Then you have nothing to worry about if that's a concern that you have. It may have to do within a dynamic where there's 3 people. It doesn't matter the gender, they show 3 women. So there may be a team dynamic where this may be happening. So I would say this today, or today being whenever you watch this reading, or just heed this advice. Okay. Let me see. I think that's it. Okay. I'm going to switch this reading out because I still have time. Yes, I have a few minutes left. I could do another reading. So, just so you know, my name is Tan. Artemis Oracle is my channel. I'm an Oracle and Tarot card reader. I try to read with integrity and respectfully. Sometimes people just ask the same questions over and over again, and it gets a little grating, to be honest. But if you would like a yes or no question answered in the future, like around 2 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be live during my lunch break, and I'll answer yes or no questions only. Yes or no only. Do not ask me who, what, when, where, why, how, because those are not yes or no questions. Those will require a reading. And so in order to participate, you have to be a subscriber. So I'm letting you know now so that you could consider subscribing if you have a question you would like me to answer, a yes or no question. Okay, so let's go back into the Dead Inside deck and see what else comes out. So this is supposed to be a funny deck. I know it says dead inside, but it's supposed to be funny. I'm a Scorpio. Constantly exhausted, fatigued, drained, hopeless. Okay, so this is like you need to sleep. You probably have so many lists. I mean, so many. Yeah, you probably do have a lot of lists. A lot of lists, a lot of to-do lists, a lot on your list, a lot on your plate when it comes to life. I mean, it could be anything. Maybe some of you, hopeless. Okay. I don't know if look, the Y card came out again. So some of you may have experienced some sort of crisis. You may be overcoming a crisis, and that may be the reason why you're constantly tired. You feel drained. It doesn't have to be like, well, drained is the same thing. Like you could feel like you're like you have fatigue, or you feel like you're energetically drained or something because of some sort of crisis. It could have to do with finances, because whenever I see this card, it looks like pentacles are falling from the sky. Maybe this is a message for you to make sure that you're getting the proper rest that you need, that you aren't running on coffee and Red Bull. It's important to sleep. Sleep is so important. But I feel like if there is some financial crisis that you're experiencing, it makes sense that you may be stressed, you may be overwhelmed by all the responsibilities, all the things that you have to do to resolve the crisis that you may be experiencing. But I feel like the most important thing is to rest. Because I wonder if some of you feel like you're trapped, that the situation or the circumstance that you're currently in, you feel trapped and you are longing to be free of the stress, free of the burdens that you may be having. So, but I feel like this is a matter of, in order to really feel that way, you can't think about this. If you're really tired, are you really thinking clearly? Can you really think clearly? I know yesterday I was on the phone with my friend, and I was just like, I was so weird. Because I was tired. I couldn't even talk right. I couldn't communicate because my brain was fatigued. It needed to rest. It couldn't. So this is like, if there's some sort of crisis that you're wanting to free yourself from, so that you could feel some semblance of normalcy in your life and not feel overwhelmed and overburdened and stressed and just hopeless. It's a matter of you getting sleep, because then you can help your brain to get the necessary rest it needs, so that you can really be able to see things clearly. You can't really operate well when you're exhausted. You can't really drive a car well when you're exhausted. You're your car. Your life is your journey, right? And you're going along your journey, but you want to be well rested, because you want to be clear, you want to be alert, you want to be prepared, and you can't do that if you're exhausted. So once you start to take time to rest and be able to get your brain in a place where you can think clearly and make better decisions, because I don't know if some of you haven't been making the best decisions. That could be the reason why. This will be one of the ways that you can help free yourself from whatever prison you feel like you're in. You do have power, but sometimes you forget that when you're exhausted. You forget. Let me see. So that's another message. Okay. So let me see. I'm gonna go into that deck again and just get one quick message, and then I'm gonna end this live stream because I have to go to work. Let's see. What other message does the collective need to know at this time? Oh, if you are going to join me in my live stream later today, and if there's like a certain theme that you would like me to read for, but it will be for the collective, but you could give me an idea of what kind of collective reading I could focus on, then, that's something I could do later on today. But it has to be a collective. It can't be a personal reading. In a way, it would seem like a personal reading to you since you are giving the idea, but we can see what messages resonate with you and the collective. So if you're interested, you can let me know what kind of reading you would like me to do later on today. Okay, overthinking hour. Crying in the shower. Oh, I know what this is like. I'm so sorry if that's you. Okay. It says overthinking hour, racing thoughts, insomnia loops. So some of you are replaying some sort of situation that has happened, possibly trying to figure out where things could have gone differently, different scenarios. Well, I remember being in this energy, and it sucks. Something this is hurt. Like this is disappointment. This is sadness. This is grief. I'm for her. I'm so sorry if you're feeling this way. I'm so sorry. Crying in the shower, isolation, breakdown, vulnerability, overthinking. I don't know. What I'm getting is that some of you may. I don't really know how to give advice for that. I feel like okay. Now I'm getting something. So I don't know if some of you are seeing things online because too many things, not enough peace. You see, there's a lot of notifications. If you're someone who's very active online and you're seeing things, be very careful with what you're consuming when it comes to technology or social media. Be careful with what you're consuming because that could create this hour, especially if you're doing this. Okay, you need to rethink doing or looking at social media before you go to bed. Because if you see something that's going to be in your mind, your mind is not going to know it's time for bed. It's going to be like, oh, we just received information. It's time for us to process it. No, you don't. Your mind needs to not process, right? It needs to rest so that it could. So some of you be careful with what you're consuming with social media, because you may be seeing things that are causing you to overthink. If it's tied to another person, you may be seeing things that since you don't have the clear picture, you don't know exactly what's going on, 22 as I'm saying that, you don't know what's going on, you're going to be creating scenarios in your head and you're going to be hurting yourself. So the advice is be careful with what you're watching, especially before you go to bed. The overthinking hour could be any hour of the day, honestly. You don't have to be in bed, because I am someone who overthinks, and I overthink almost 24/7. Almost. I'm working on that, and I hope you are too. So it's a matter of be careful what kind of information you're exposing yourself to, because that can play a role in you being unable to rest, unable to relax, unable to sleep, maybe suffering from insomnia. But if this is tied to a person, and we see there's a lot of stuff going on, and we see it in the news, and yeah, disappointing, and that could have us crying in the shower, especially if you're an empath and you see somebody has experienced some sort of traumatic loss. It's like you can feel what they're feeling, and that could be that too. So if you're someone who's an empath and you're very sensitive, be careful with what you're consuming with media, social media, news, radio, anything. But also be careful, you may be seeing things in regards to a person that may be causing you to try to create scenarios, try to gain some clarity, but all you're doing is causing yourself emotional distress. So if that's something that resonates with you, this is a time for you to consider maybe detaching from what you're looking at, if it's in regards to a person, so that you can be able to clear your mind. Be like earlier, I was doing the reading about being exhausted. I mean, it could be tied to that too, but just try to find a way to relax so that you can get the proper rest, but also allow yourself to think and see things clearly, not based off of what you're seeing online, because not everything online that we see is true. A lot of people post things just to post things, to incite a reaction, and that may be something you need to look out for. So I'm going to end the reading now. If you would like to join me later on today, I'm going to be live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I think in one of those I will do a yes or no. I'll probably do it for both live streams later on today. But either way, I would like to do a general collective reading. But if you have any ideas or themes that I can do, you can leave it in the comment section. I know I closed the live chat, but you can still comment on this video, on this live stream or the replay, and let me know what you would like me to read about. So it could be like a subscriber request or a viewer request. If that's something that you're interested in, just let me know and leave a message or leave a comment in the comment section. So I hope everyone has a great day wherever you are, or a great evening, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, and thank you for joining and liking and subscribing if you did. Bye, everyone.